I know it's late, people are tired. I've even told that there is a cricket match, but I think I was sensing tonight, as my colleagues were speaking, that there was a debate that has been gnawing inside of us about optimism and pessimism after all the things that we have experienced these 4 days. And for me, coming from the other side of the planet, it is really very important to tell you what it means or what it has meant to me. So very rapidly, I will tell you that I come from a region in the world where there is hope. There are winds of change are taking place, are present in Latin America in many dimensions and levels of our lives. And it's not only in countries like Venezuela, which of course everybody will think immediately about, or Ecuador, to a lesser degree Bolivia, and even a little bit of Argentina. But I'm talking of every level of life, social life and political life in all countries in Latin America. So I am very optimistic that people are mobilizing, people are becoming aware, people are doing exactly what we're doing tonight. And from this perspective, I would like to tell you that we should all leave tonight this auditorium with the firm conviction that there are many more good things happening in the world than evil or bad things. And I think if you think about it, you immediately will agree with me. I wanted to say something very briefly about the whole issue of globalization and whether we are pessimistic or optimistic and what is coming along the way in our lives, in our times. Let's not forget that globalization, if you understand globalization by this huge expansion of the financial sector, globalization is the story, the genesis of globalization is a story of a huge failure of the capitalist system to maintain profitability at what they think are adequate levels. This is the genesis of globalization. The bankruptcy of the general economic system in developed economies to maintain profitability rates at high levels. And if you go back to the 1970s, you will see immediately how this came about and how this triggered the pressure to start financial liberalization in order to open spaces for the flow of capital. So if you take this into consideration, you will see that, let's use a metaphor of wars, which I don't like very much, but I will use it. If we are in a struggle with a mighty dragon, let's not forget that the mighty dragon is sick, is hurt, and he is not in very good shape. And he has in his own belly the seeds, perhaps, of his own destruction. So let's not despair. We sometimes feel we don't have adequate weapons or that people are demobilized. A friend here at JNU told me, don't forget we're fighting a $400 billion industry, which is advertising and the media today, that frames this mind of mercantile values in which people don't have to think about anything except how much money will this and that cost. No, let's not despair. The enemy is wounded, the enemy is sick, he's in bad shape, and we can mobilize and muster energy from places in which we never thought we would find it. Let me just finalize with one idea about this, this view of the struggle in which we are involved today. If I say globalization is a story of a huge failure in its genesis, it's also a huge failure in its results. And we have been hearing a lot of that these 4 days. But we only have to look also at the data and at the world level regarding poverty, marginalization, environmental destruction, destruction of livelihoods, etc., to have a confirmation of that. What are the alternatives? This is a point that we really have to focus on, and this is really the next step. So we need tribunals that pass judgment on things that have been happening or have happened in the past, but we also need something like a court of I don't know, of justice maybe, on alternatives. And I would end with just one final thought about alternatives. We really have to frame things in a different perspective. Take money. We talk about financial liberalization, capital flows, and expansion of the financial sector. Money is, for economists, money is a technology. Basically, money is a transactions technology, and this is an idea that is pervasive, that probably 99% of the population on the planet has come to accept. Well, it's a pity, and we need to change that. Money is not a technology, and it has not always been thought of as a technology. If we go back 2,000 years to Aristotle, money was an ethical entity, a political object, something that was used in daily deliberations about justice and ethics in our daily contact in society. Just think about it. Different ways to think about objects that have been there all the time, and we don't need to think about them in the prescribed way that the establishment sees these things. Money is not a technology, it is an ethical object. So if we start thinking in new terms, or maybe recovering old perspectives about some of these entities that are lying around us, we will make some progress too in finding alternatives. So I'll just leave you with a message of optimism. I think we're doing fine. It doesn't mean that we have to be triumphalist, but I think the worst enemy when you're in the struggle is pessimism. Thank you very much.